live streamed on YouTube. So I'm just waiting for the heads up that we're actually on YouTube before we get started here. Okay, we are now streaming, so we will start this meeting of the Communications Subcommittee. Thank you all for being here. There has been a lot that has transpired since we met last, but our meetings were scheduled right in between. Certain information was going to become available, so we had collectively decided we should meet today so that we could give you some updated information as to where we are. So as you can see from the paper, phase 1B has started to slowly roll out. It's been a little bumpy, to say the least. There's been some communication, well-intended, but some communication confusion on 1B and the eligibility. I believe that, the website went up proactively, letting everybody know who was in 1B, and the 1B was, if you were in that category, it was now open. And that led people to believe that everyone within that category could go and sign up. That was fixed immediately. And as you all know, our priority is the 75 plus. We need to make sure that those individuals, along with any first responders or healthcare workers that did not have an opportunity to get vaccinated for whatever reason in 1A, are now being vaccinated in 1B. It's been a little tricky. We have much higher demand than we do resources for the vaccine itself. But we are getting there, and we are doing a really good job. And thanks to Maura, she just provided us with the latest information before this meeting that I will email to all of you as soon as we finish here. So as of Wednesday night, we had inoculated nearly 260,000 residents in the state of Connecticut, including 226,000 first doses. And I think it's 31,000 residents are fully inoculated in the state, and we are doing a really good job. As you know, the governor was just appointed to a national committee on the vaccine rollout. So I think that's a testament to all the work that they're trying to do here, and the work that you all are doing in communicating the message, which I know is fluid and changing often. We also have, again, focused on the 75 plus population. What we have learned is from 65 upwards to as old as you want to be here in the state of Connecticut, that seems to be where the majority of the deaths have occurred. So the focus has been on 75 plus, and the governor has announced the next category within 1B will go to 65 years and above. So it's important that we communicate that with all of our contacts that we have. There has been some confusion with school districts. I'm sure that you heard that some teachers were getting in line to get the vaccine. There's been some information concerning coaches getting vaccinated. I know I hear it all day long. I'm sure you all have also. And that simply is, I believe, not done on purpose, but our municipalities and our school districts were supposed to load in the VAM system. They're folks who are essential. They're school nurses, maybe somebody who is having direct contact with somebody who could potentially have COVID, their police, their fire chiefs, etc. And some school districts, by mistake, loaded their entire roster of folks. And once you're in, it's difficult for DPH to identify who is appropriate and who is not. So what DPH did just 2 days ago is send a direct message and communicated to the superintendents that if you had done this inadvertently and you had teachers that were loaded on the system that shouldn't be, that are under 75, to please go in and cancel your appointment, because it's very serious. We want to make sure that those who are 75 plus are the ones to get vaccinated next. So anyone that has not received their first dose in 75 or the leftover from 1A should try to make their appointments. We have new things set up that everyone should be aware of. We've set up this vaccination. It's called VAL, V-A-A-L. It's the Vaccination Appointment Assistance Line through 211. And they are able to help individuals who don't have access to a computer who want to talk to a person to be able to call and make their appointment through this system. And I will send everybody the sheet I have on this so you can spread it to your contacts also. But we have dedicated more than 30 United Way staff to help with this effort. And Val has booked more than 2,400 vaccine appointments from Thursday within 4 days. So they're doing a really good job booking appointments. And no appointments available in Val have gone unscheduled. So we're not wasting appointment times, which is also important. And there are still some slots available for Monday. They're only 69% full. So if you know people that need to make an appointment, they can call 211 and there's still some times and slots available. You will now start to see some availability at your local health districts to be able to get the vaccine. I will caution you, though, that some of the health districts are not going to be creating slots unless they have the vaccine to fill that slot. So you may call and in my area, it's Ledgelight Health District. They're not going to take appointments for vaccines that they don't have. So I think that's important. Just because they don't have it, today or tomorrow doesn't mean they won't be getting it, but they will not be taking appointments for vaccines that they are not assured that they're going to receive. There are appointments across the state. Yale New Haven has opened up their system, Hartford Healthcare, the City of New Haven, Bristol Hospital, Fairhaven, and I know the state is in conversations with Trinity Health New England, Hartford Healthcare, and Bridgeport, the FQHCs there. So we continue to add new places to be vaccinated. You will start to see, I'm sure you've heard some information on drive-through vaccination clinics. Those will be forthcoming. Again, we are very good. I think the governor's office and the people that are working there in this rollout have done a really good job of getting providers on board to help with the vaccine. The issue is we don't have enough of the vaccine to do these massive drive-through vaccination clinics. So we're asking people to be patient. Connecticut and the governor's office and DPH are going to be persistent in their pursuit of additional vaccines. It's just going to take a little time. So patience is the word of the day here on the Communications Committee. And I will send you all of what I've just shared with you in the information that I have in a handout sheet so that you can share it with your appropriate groups and membership. We need to talk about our outreach. Our board or our committee has really morphed from providing the governor's office with the way we think you should communicate to us taking on roles as ambassadors for that communication. We have had forums across the state of Connecticut, and they have been well received. We continue to schedule them with our scientific review committee. So I want to encourage anybody who has a particular group that you feel would benefit from having a scientific panelist, a MD perhaps who has had the vaccine, somebody from the communications committee, which could be yourself, or a host to host a forum where people can ask questions on the vaccine. We're scheduling one with Matthew Barrett. I know that one of our committee members, Senator Abrams, has had one, and I was going to ask her if she could share her experience on how it went. And they're very informative. People like to ask when they're going to get the vaccine. That seems to be a big prominent question. Sometimes we can't answer that, but it does give an opportunity to dispel any myths that are out there circulating about the vaccine, and or an opportunity for individuals to ask direct questions to the experts. So if you're interested, one of our mission is to pursue that. So we'd love to have you engaged. And if you just want to send us an email with the dates and the time that you're interested in setting one up, we're happy to accommodate you to make that happen. I see Dr. Caranta has his hand up and I didn't call on him. I'm so sorry. So go ahead, you can unmute yourself and speak.
Oh, thank you, Senator. Good evening, everybody. I just it was adding on to something you were saying about scheduling. In addition to phone access scheduling through 211, many of the hospitals and health systems are also accommodating phone scheduling. Hartford Healthcare and Yale, and I know Griffin are doing different versions of phone scheduling. And in my experience with patients, I found that has been very, very important to have that option. So I think it'll be more than just the 211 resource that's available, but people will be able to access other networks. I talked to two FQHCs today down in the New Haven area. They are both taking phone reservations. Limited capacity for those type of facilities, mostly geared towards their patients, but they would also take outside patients. So I think we're going to have a fairly large number of phone-based scheduling capabilities as well.
Great, thank you so much for that. I was going to ask Senator Abrams and actually Dr. Karanta both were participants in a forum for 1199 union. I think at the same time or different times, I can't remember, but if you wanted to speak to the experience that you had to encourage other members to do the same, that would be great. So I'm not sure who wants. Senator Abrams, would you like to go first?
Sure. It was a very good experience, I have to say, and I would highly encourage everyone to get out there and try to spread the message. I was particularly working with 1199 because I was concerned about some of what I heard in terms of the workers and their concerns, and making sure that they had an opportunity to have any of their questions answered by a member of the scientific or the science subcommittee. And also Senator Summers was great about also providing a medical doctor. So they were both, we did two sessions, one at 1 o'clock and then one at 4 o'clock, and they were both taped and put up on their website. They answered questions, they gave information. I also was joined, I did this project with Representative Q5th, and he was wonderful in terms of being able to answer questions and reach out. And I think that it was very effective from what I heard from 1199. And so I think targeting specific groups is probably a good way to go, but also I think just in general, giving people an opportunity in different communities. I'm working with Senator Moore to try to set up something for the Bridgeport area and to see if we can do something down there similarly and let people have the opportunity. I think once they hear the information, it's very convincing. So we just have to get the information out there. But really, Senator Summers made it flawlessly easy for me to do this. So thank you for that. And I would highly encourage everyone to do it.
Great, thank you.
I would echo that sentiment. It was a great experience. I think the model where we had someone to talk about the science and the policy behind vaccines. I think having someone with clinical experience also is helpful. The one piece I might add, which I think will have more people available to do, it's a little short supply now. It would be, I think it might have also been valuable to have a peer for that group who's had the vaccine, a non-expert as well, to be part of the panel. I think that would have completed kind of the cycle of information. And I think that would have been very powerful to then have someone who's a peer to the stakeholder group to speak to their experiences. And I know that's not easy now because many people haven't had it. And I would just say that again, I would personally be available to anybody who wanted to conduct one of these. I know there are many other clinicians and kind of folks from the scientific expert side who would be willing. I think people just have to start reaching out to us, and you can reach out to me and Senator Summers, and just we'll recruit people to help, and there'll be lots of people who want to do it.
Thank you. Mr. Brady, you have your hand up.
Yeah, thank you, Senator. I just wanted to let you know, I was asked to present to a group of coalition of municipal workers on Tuesday about an update on the vaccine rollout, and I did. And I've been fielding a lot of emails since then, mostly from teachers about the questions because of the confusion on some of them being uploaded into the system. What should they do now? I think it was helpful. I think many of the questions came around the I've already received my first dose. Now what do I do? So I've been able to field those. I double checked with DPH and with the governor's office that my instructions were correct, and it seems to have relieved some of the anxiety, at least.
Absolutely. So I guess you hear the message. Whatever your group is, we are happy to accommodate and set up a forum with you, with somebody from the scientific panel, someone from the communications area. If you have a peer, it's tough because we're doing 75 and older. A lot of the 75-year-olds are not willing or wanting to go on, a Zoom call. But as we get more and more folks as Dr. Caranta said, we might be able to find a peer rather than just a medical person. But in the meantime, we've been able to recruit some medical folks. We've spoke actually again this week with the Medical Society and the Connecticut Hospital Association. I know that I have a friend who is from India. She's a childbearing woman who's had COVID and actually has gotten both of the shots. So she would be a great person to speak to someone on a peer level, and also to help alleviate any concerns there are around fertility, et cetera, which can continue to come up. So if you're interested, please email myself or Dr. Caranta. Again, all we need is the dates and the times. And if you could give us a little blurb about the group that you're speaking to, that would be helpful. I know that some of you have requested them and they're in the works of setting up, and you need a Spanish speaker. So we're working on that. Whatever we can do to help facilitate your group and the people that are part of your membership, let us know. These forms don't have to be long. They're usually over within an hour, but they really do add a lot of value to the group that you're speaking to. And if they go longer, they go longer, and we're happy to accommodate however we can. So I wanted to make sure that we reiterate that once again. Hello, Mike Frieda.
Hello, Senator. How are you? And
I'm well.
great to see everybody. Thank you for recognizing me with my hand up. I appreciate it. So I wanted to let you know that just from the ground level, what's happening here in North Haven, and I think it's happening in many municipalities, we've had over 500 calls in the past 3 days, primarily from senior citizens 75 and over, who don't have internet access, just like you were saying, Senator. Thank you for the VALS number. We've been actually working with their baby boomer children and working with the children with the consent of the parents to help have the children understand how to fill out the VAMS registration, which isn't that difficult. And a lot of the baby boomers are doing it for their parents. So today here in North Haven, we actually hosted a vaccination site. We worked it out collaboratively with our health district, who had 300 vaccines. We managed it very clearly with the VAMS system. It was by appointment only. And because we have a great relationship with Quinnipiac University here in town, we utilized their nursing students in conjunction with the health department to administer the vaccines. And today, despite all the confusion with the 500 calls, which we ended up creating a positive outcome, was a very successful day here today. And we anticipate doing it again next week with the health department utilizing one of our town buildings here.
Thank you. That's great. We're hearing that all across Connecticut, that municipalities are being very creative. I know some municipalities, if they don't have the ability to have Quinnipiac, they are vaccinating all their school nurses, and their school nurses are helping in the vaccine rollout of their particular town. It's tough, it's bumpy, but we all have to stick together in continuing to communicate where you can get it, how you can get it, what the appropriate age group is to get. So thank you for that, Mike. We can use that as a model to share with other towns.
And one final point, Senator, what we're trying to do in terms of delivering the message here, and I'm doing this not only here in North Haven, but with my regional roles also through CCM. We're giving the people the numbers. We're giving them the numbers about how many people are in phase 1A, phase 1B. We're giving them information about there's from 46,000 to 50,000 vaccines that Connecticut's being allocated a week. We're giving them projections so that the anticipation and expectation level is not higher than what it should be. And people are satisfied with the information. So throughout the early confusion, we're turning the confusion into hope and optimism.
I would agree, and I'll give you one example that that happened early on, where when we opened up 1B, there was some kind of communication, I don't know who it came from, that said we were going to be done with 1B in 6 weeks. And I actually talked to the head of the CBIA saying, oh no, it's not 6 weeks. It may be 6 weeks for the 75 plus, depending on the amount of vaccines that we have, but this is going to be a long-term rollout. We're hoping that maybe May, maybe June, depending on our allocation, we will be able to get through this. But I think and I'm sure that you will all agree with me, the more information that we can get to the communities that we represent, the better off. People just want to know how many we're getting. When you say we're getting 44,000 vaccines a week, you know, a light bulb goes off and they say, oh, okay, I get it. You know, this is a long-term rollout. So I know that myself and Dr. Karanta have set up a noontime for 10 minutes or 15 minutes update from the governor's office from Maura, and I'm going to let her speak. She's amazing and working like a crazy, crazy person around the clock to get the information that we need to be able to get out. So we've set up a weekly quick update from her so that we can share it with you. I know that it's been a little frustrating sometimes. We get the information a little bit too late or after it's already hit the paper and people are asking us, hey, you're supposed to be the communications committee. Why are you not communicating? So I want you to know that any information I have, I will get to you and email to you so you have the latest information that we have. And we are also been asked to sit with the allocation committee. I don't have my calendar in front of me, but I think it's early next week. So we will update you on what the allocation committee discusses with us, because we want all of you to have as much information as we have to move forward. So the next thing on our agenda was if everyone could think about the groups that they represent or they have contacts with, and if you feel a forum or some other mode of communication would benefit those groups, please let us know. And again, we will set you up. We will try to help you so that you can be the communicator to that particular group to spread the word concerning the vaccines. And now we were going to have a quick update from DPH, State Communications, which is Maura. I'm going to let you go ahead and speak to us about what's been happening statewide.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Senator. I'll try to make this as quick as I possibly can, but I wanted to let you guys know what we have been up to and what we are going to be up to in the next several weeks. So the first thing is that we are building a monthly communications calendar. So we're starting the communications calendar with the month of February. So each month before the month starts, we will have a calendar that contains the overall messages for the month, messages for each week. If there's specific events that we anticipate or we know are going to be going on in a particular month, those will be built into the calendar. And then we'll be able to use that calendar to kind of break down what activities, what materials, what content are going to be needed in our various communication streams. So that's earned media, paid media, social media, on the web, our community grassroots stakeholder group, with our key populations, 211 and the contact tracers, and with you guys on the subcommittee. So we're also going to be having, there's going to be a meeting every other Monday with Commissioner Gifford, Commissioner Jabal, internal DPH people on our communications team, and then a few other people from various communities, including Vicki Veltri, who sits on this committee. And we're going to be going over the calendar for the next month, see if people have things that need to go on there, see if there's things that they think should be messaged differently. And then the meeting after that will be to kind of do a check-in to see how that month is going, if adjustments need to be made or whatnot. So one of the things that Vicki is going to do is she will kind of be reporting back to you guys on what is going on in the calendar after those Monday meetings. And then Dean Pagani and myself will also be meeting with Senator Summers and Dr. Quaranta and Representative Pettit on Fridays to check in and kind of go over messaging as well. So hopefully we'll have a little more communication with you guys. We are working on a series of one-pagers that hopefully will be available for distribution soon. One of them is pretty much done and ready to go, and there are 4 more that are being edited now. So the first one is just a one-pager on facts about the COVID vaccine. And then the other 4 are how does the vaccine work? How did it get developed so quickly? Is it safe? And what's in the vaccines? What are the ingredients? And we will be able to get those translated into different languages and distributed out across multiple channels. And all of those things will also go into a toolkit that we are working on building that will be accessible to all of you guys as well. We are working with the governor's office on a new public service announcement that we are hoping to have in 3 different languages from 4 doctors, Dr. Gifford, Dr. Edie, Albert Coe, and Dr. Acosta from the Stanford Health System. So it will be in English, Portuguese, and Spanish. Just a basic, quick 30-second, the vaccines are here, they're safe, they're effective, and when check here for more information, and when it's your turn, please get the vaccine. It's for you, it's for your loved ones, it's for your community. We're hoping to debut that during the Super Bowl. And we're working with FSB, who is the station that's carrying the Super Bowl this year, to do kind of a whole package of things throughout the day on COVID vaccines. So it should be pretty interesting. We also recently did a PSA for the staff in our nursing homes, which thanks to Matt and Mag and the people over at 1199 got distributed out to all of the homes and all of the union members. I should also say that the Teamsters and AFT were also involved in distributing to their members too. The PSA, I just checked a little while ago, has over 2,800 views. We had it translated into Spanish, and we also have the beginning part of the PSA actually spoken in Spanish by a pastor from East Haven, Pastor Hernandez. So that just went out last Friday, and hopefully that will also get distributed around to everyone. And we're also now trying to coordinate with the Department of Corrections to work on a PSA for them that will target their corrections officers. So we're working with the state employee unions on putting that together, and with DOC. We are working on strengthening and enhancing our FAQs. And thank you, Dr. Quaranta, for sending the information that you did this morning. We're also coordinating with 211, with the governor's office, and with the internal DPH people who answer the emails that we get in, to kind of get from everyone what are the main questions that are being asked most often. We're going to answer those. We'll get that up on our FAQ page. I'm working on a 1-pager, hopefully, that will come out really fast on VAMS and how VAMS works, and how to set up an appointment. And actually, for Selectman Frida, from what you just said, I think I'm going to look to do a sheet 2 on helping your loved one to get an appointment through VAMS. So I think that'll be helpful. And then finally, on the pure communication side, we are also have a rumor control operation going. So it's being done by Caitlin Crisselt, who is the PIO for the Department of Consumer Protection, working with us. So when we hear of these rumors that are percolating, she will put up, kind of, this is the rumor and this is the fact, and all cited. So they just came up with a web form where if people start hearing of rumors, they can fill out this form and send it into us, and then we can look into things, and I can get that around to all of you in case you are hearing things. You can write in on that form and we can start to take care of those. On the grassroots stakeholder engagement side of the house, we have developed an initial list of statewide community, workforce, and healthcare organizations that we are looking to partner with. We've developed a draft community outreach plan and a timeline for those community outreach activities. And we've begun the development of a toolkit that I mentioned earlier that will be available to our community partners. We have already done quite a bit of outreach to a bunch of different organizations, Leading Age, the Association of Healthcare Facilities, faith-based organizations and leaders, the Connecticut Health Foundation, Access Health CT, DSS, CBAC, VAO. So we're starting to build relationships with all of them and figure out what we can do to help them and how they can help us to disseminate messages. With our community-based organizations, right now we're working with clergy to develop webinars that will be by denomination to educate, answer questions, and provide a toolkit. And again, we're working with CBAC on a webinar and on a PSA for the Department of Corrections workers. And then next week on the grassroots side of things, we are focusing on reaching out to groups that represent individuals living with disabilities and IDing groups that represent the undocumented and immigrant communities. And we had a great meeting yesterday with Kika Matos and some of the representatives from ULA about the undocumented community and how we can best outreach to them. I also had a good meeting the other day with Maria Lino at the Latino Way to talk to her about how we can do outreach to the Latino communities in Connecticut. So all of that is underway. And then the final thing that I have for you is we have also hired a social media coordinator who is going to oversee the whole, kind of social media side of the house, just to make sure that we're all working together, we're not cannibalizing each other, and the messages that we have going out are targeted and sharp and hashtagged properly and all of that fun stuff. So that is what is going on in our world right now, and I will turn it back over to you, Senator Sparks.
Great, that was a lot. You're really moving on. Does anybody have any questions for Maura?
I just had one question / comment more. I was thinking through this in terms of helping people navigate the different systems. Would a YouTube video of how to register for VAMs, log in, schedule your appointment might be something to do. It's, I use them a lot, and it might be you could actually just take someone through and you could actually see the screen. Those printouts are hard to follow sometimes and understand, and you miss things. And I was just thinking if there was a YouTube link, someone could watch it and then maybe they would be able to schedule it a little bit easier. And it might be worth a suggestion to the large provider groups, Yale New Haven and Hartford, that are doing their own scheduling to kind of do the same thing.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. Thank you.
Okay, Pastor Hector Carvalho.
Yes, hello everyone. I got a question as far as all the information was mentioned, as far as providing links or flyers or information. Is that going to be accessible like through via email that we could kind of share in our social media for our, like for example, the communities to be able to connect and look at the information themselves?
Yes, we're planning on having it. It'll be available on the website and people can download it. Anything that we are going to put out, I will email it to you guys or email it to Senator Summers and Dr. Quaranta so that they can get it to you guys, whatever is easiest. But yeah, anything that we come up with will be distributed to you all.
Awesome. And also, as far as the different languages, do you prefer us to let you know what language we would like to have it in when you send it out to specifically to each of us?
Sure,
Okay,
that would be great. I mean, I think for the most part, most of what I have seen translated has been translated into, Spanish, Portuguese, Haitian Creole, I think, and there might be a few other languages, but I believe that we have the ability to translate things into whatever language we need. And also one of the things that we're doing in working with the Latino Way and working with ULA and a few of the other organizations is we don't want to just give you guys the materials that we have and think that that's going to address the issues in your community, that they can just be translated into Spanish or Portuguese. And, we've checked the box. Like, we want to hear from those communities what you need from us, instead of us just trying to figure out what we think you need and giving it to you in Spanish or in Portuguese. So we're going to have a robust dialogue back and forth with the Latino community and other communities to find out what it is that you need from us so that we can get you stuff that's going to be, heard by your communities.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does anyone else have any questions for Maura? No? Okay. Okay, moving on to our agenda. Thank you, Maura, for that very detailed report. We are committed, Dr. Karanta and I are committed to any information that we get from her, we will forward to you. And also, sometimes not everybody wants to go to the link. So we will go to the link, we will print out the information and send it to you in a PDF form so you don't have to go searching for it if that's easier. We try to do that to make it as easy as possible so then you can share it with your membership, your community in the easiest way. I was told that our allocation committee is going to meet next Tuesday. So Dr. Karanta and I will be able to give you an update after we meet with them on the allocation situation for the vaccines. And now we have next steps and next steps. A lot of what we've been doing is trying to get you information. We have been in a somewhat of a holding pattern, but we're going to see it really ramp up now that Maura is really setting a monthly schedule on what information is going out. So we want to ask all of you and your membership to give us feedback, as Maura had said, what do you need for your membership or your group to make this vaccine successful? How do you want us to communicate? What does your group need from us that they are not getting? And any suggestions are, taken, and everybody is receiving the input, because none of us have all the ideas. We want to make sure that when we communicate to your particular group, we're doing the best that we can for that particular group, and we'll tweak whatever we have to make sure the message is resonating. So we're asking you for feedback on what works, what doesn't work. And again, we're going to try to keep you as up to date as we are with the communication, and patience, unfortunately, is the key. And I'm not a very patient person, so it's been hard, but we have to be patient in this time because we just don't have enough of the vaccine. The good news is we do have some promising, or it appears to be some promising alternatives on the horizon. So if we have 2 potential vaccines that also get EUA approval, then hopefully this whole timeline could be compressed, but that is yet to be seen. So does anyone have any further questions or concerns or would like to speak about anything? No? Okay, and Maura, what can we do as a committee to support you and the governor's office? We do have members that have roots within the Latino community. We have members that are part of larger churches and organizations. Is there anything you need from us that we can help you to be more successful in helping get the message out? I'm sure many of us on here would work as ambassadors to help in a particular community that you're looking to target. So I know everyone has signed up, that we want to help you be ambassadors to help you promote the message.
Thank you. And I should introduce to you on the call or on this meeting is Carter Johnson, who we work with and who is heading up the Stakeholder Grassroots community outreach portion of this campaign. So I don't know, Carter, if you want to take that one and address that, or.
Sure, and the answer is yes, please. We are, as part of our work, going to be pulling together sort of a speakers bureau. And to Dr. Karanta's point, we always want to pair up for webinars, forums, what have you, a member from the scientific community and a member from the community to whom we are speaking. And so in as much as we can blow that list out and have lots of options, I think that will be super helpful. So yes, if you're interested or you know someone who would be great for it, we would love to know who they are and be introduced.
Great. So for our committee then, if you are interested in serving on a speakers board or for your particular community or membership, or other people that would you send me an email and then I can forward it on with your name and your contact information so that they can reach out to you, and or if you have other surrogates that would like to be in your place if there's a conflict. That would be terrific. We're doing that also with clinicians, because we tend to use the same ones over and over, because it's hard to get people to, at the last minute, hey, on Tuesday at 7, can you do this? So we're establishing a whole list of clinicians with different backgrounds and specialties that we can pull from, because as we start to roll these out, you get more and more requests. So we want to make sure that we have people that can fill in for you. So if you're willing to do that, please send us, your membership, what your specialty is, or, if you're part of a larger church community or the Latino community, or if you speak another language, send it to us so we can pair you up, because we really need to have more ambassadors. And I know this group had signed up for that. If you have other people, please include them too. And then we can forward it to Carter and continue our work. Does anyone have any other questions or concerns? No? Okay.
Senator, if I might, if there are no comments, but if I could have a minute maybe to share some positive insights and thoughts with the group to give a little, I was fortunate enough today to be at a vaccine site. I was actually getting my second vaccine. It was very positive to get my first vaccine, but what was different today was the people who were there with me getting were quite different. And early on it was hospital workers, but the entire area was filled with mostly seniors, mostly our most vulnerable population. And I just want to share with the group how positive and how reassuring it was for me to see that, but really also you could tell the change and the difference in the people in that room, and how positive they were, and how meaningful this was. And I would wager that many of those folks, this might have been their first trip out of the house of any significance in many months. So I think the message is that I think the provider network and DPH, we are ramping up vaccine access in a tremendous way. And it's coming, people are being vaccinated, and it's just heartwarming to see folks who've been in isolation probably for greater than a year finally have access. So I think that the message is, again, is patience, but one of hope, and that we are doing this, and the volume of access for vaccines in the state is increasing rapidly. If we can get supply, it'll be even better. So I think it's just a message of hope, positivity. And I just also want to add that it's also heartwarming to see literally thousands of people from the administrators and the folks just taking people through the line to the actually nurses administering the vaccine. So I just think there's a lot of positive, good news out there. We don't get much of it with COVID, but it's certainly out there. And so I think we are starting to see this. So I just wanted to share that with the group, because we hear a lot about what doesn't go right. We hear a lot about a problem, but boy, this morning it was nothing but good news and smiling faces and happy faces. And that feedback is being repeated across clinical sites across the state. So I just want to share that with the group to help inform your colleagues and the other folks that you interact with.
Great. That's really positive news. Maura, did you have your hand up again? Or was that? Okay.
I just wanted to say that one of the things that we've kind of been kicking around is trying to figure out how to start basically a campaign of having people who have gotten vaccinated, either if they have a video of themselves getting vaccinated or they have pictures of themselves after they've gotten the vaccine or getting the vaccine, sending them to us, or just sending us, little, it could be a video snippet, it could be something written about like what it meant to them to get the vaccine, or why, are they getting the vaccine for a particular person or a particular reason. So we can start to kind of collect those images and collect those stories, and then, figure out how we would use them, via social media or in different ways to kind of show that we're that momentum is building, and, more and more of our communities are getting this vaccine, and the more of us that get it, the more people are going to want to get it. So if you have people with stories or pictures out there and you want to, give them my email address, they can email stuff to me, and we'll start to kind of build a library of that, and then, figure out how we can use that stuff. We got one today through the DPH main press email address, just randomly sent to us by a gentleman in the Norwich area whose two elderly parents got vaccinated today, and he just talked about how relieved he was that they finally are getting their vaccines, and he'll be able to see them again soon. So I think messages like that will help to spread the word that this is what we have to do to get back to, you know, a semblance of normalcy.
Thank you. That's really important, and it's very heartfelt too. It pulls on everybody's heartstrings to think about that, and it is a great message. Two things that I overlooked that I wanted to make sure that I shared with this group were two things that have been questions that have come up repeatedly. One is, how are we taking care of those who are homebound that can't get out to get their vaccine? And I know that DPH is working with home care agencies that have nurses that can go into the home to be able to vaccinate. That's still in process. We are still working through that. They are not forgotten. The one thing that they have is if they are homebound, we are, you know, thankful that they are somewhat isolated, but we are working on that. It is not completely worked through, but I just want everyone to know what we're also trying to do is identify those who are homebound that may or may not be getting home care services with like a nursing agency. So in your community, if you know of people that are homebound, but that are not getting someone to come in and visit with them, you know, a nurse, if you can try to collect the information. We want to make sure that nobody is getting overlooked. And that's an important thing that has come up. Secondly, there is some misinformation. I know we never have any of that in our communications committee about the safety of donating blood after you've received your COVID vaccine. And you can donate blood. It is not contraindicated. The slight nuance is that they will not use, they call it convalescent plasma to give to a patient. And that has to do with your antibodies that are produced from a vaccine versus if you had COVID and produced antibodies. So there are people that are mixing that all together and trying to say it's not safe because you can't donate blood. That is just not true. And I just wanted everybody to know that because that's something that's coming up repeatedly. We checked with our scientific committee just to verify what we had thought, but it's something that I think we should put in our questions and answers, and then we can send it to everybody so you will be able to answer it. But those who are particularly against vaccines in general will use it as a way to say, see, it's proving it's not safe, but it's absolutely not true. And I wanted to make sure everybody knows that because it's come up a lot. And I will get you the information on that specifically so you can answer it should it come up. And if no one else has anything else, I think we can adjourn, and I appreciate your time, and we will be emailing you all the information we talked about that I have and continue to stay in communication. Again, if you're interested in those forums, we're really pushing those forums. They're a great way to get information out to the public. And please feel free individually to reach out to us if you need something or if something comes to mind, and we can make sure that we communicate it back to the powers that be in the governor's office. And thank you for spending time with our committee and helping us communicate it. We're doing really important work, and I hope that you will all continue to do all the great work you're doing.